It is Candice Dickinson here, Artistic Director at HART, and I am sitting down with the two most wonderful people in the world, Nichole Sumpter, who is our graphic designer here at HART, and she also is the director of our upcoming show, Constellations, and Julie Kinter, who is our operations manager here at HART and is playing Mary Ann in Constellations, which will be playing April 5th through 14th right in our Fichter studio. So to start this interview off, I love talking about how these shows get submitted for the studio season. Now, you submitted this show, so tell us a little bit about why you wanted to do this show.
Well, I've wanted to do this show for quite a while. I had actually been slated to do it in 2019, and I'd read the play a few years before that, right after going through some pretty big things in my life, the loss of my dad and then my own cancer. So it really made me think about life in those deeper ways that we sometimes think about life. And so when I read this, it was like, it just really hit home for me. And so then I was all ready to do this halfway through process when my mom died. And so that, of course, put it on the back burner, and I thought, well, I guess that's the end of that. It'll never happen. But then along came Matt and Nichole, and I thought, okay, now I've got the right elements. Maybe we can do it. And it's a beautiful story to me about those things that we think about as we go through adulthood, about what if I had done this? What if I had done that? What if I had made this choice or that choice? And sometimes we even try to think in our minds, would it have been really better in my life? So it was mainly that, and then, well, the story will unfold, and you'll see probably a little bit more why I really...
Yeah, but it has. I remember, I mean, since I've been here, you've been talking about this show and wanting to do it, and I'm so happy it kind of all aligned. And speaking of it all aligning, how did you get brought into this?
Well, so back in 2021, Candice was teaching a directing class, and Julie and I were in it, and it came up about doing Constellations, and it just kind of happened. Julie asked, I guess back in October-ish, if I would have any interest, and I thought it would be fun to direct a show and to work with Julie and Matt, and I love the idea of multiverses. I think that is, I've always had the idea of what if this had happened instead, and I love the I love the romantic aspect of it too, which you'll see in the you'll see in the show. But I love the idea of what if, and so it was just a fun show, and it's a fun show to be my first show.
I know. Well, speaking of that, as you guys know, one of the pillars of our studio season is giving people opportunity for all sorts of different things, whether it's, a role they've always wanted to play, or if they want to try their hand at directing. And that happens to be the situation here. So tell us a little bit. This is your first experience directing. It is a heck of a show to have as your first directing experience. But tell us why you want to become a director, why you wanted to try your hand at it.
Well, so apparently I've been directing since I was 5. Was told, poor Allison, but I've been literally on the stage since I was 6 months old. I was part of theater for a very long time. I started stage managing back in like 2018 or something like that, and I've done all aspects of theater except for directing, and I love the idea of creating something. This show has a lot of leeway with that. It's kind of very open-ended, and I love the idea of just creating. I think it's been a lot of fun, and it's fun to work with someone as seasoned as Matt and Julie. They've both been such a wonderful pair to work with, and
it just
really
makes
enjoyed
sense.
it.
It just makes sense. I mean, that was kind of the same path you had, right? Was kind of stage management into directing. If you guys didn't know, Nichole is like our top stage manager. Everyone wants to work with her. And Julie, you're the same way. I mean, you're doing more on the directing side now, but I think it makes sense when you have that kind of organizational mind. You're working so closely with the director all the time anyway, and it's like, well, I can do this.
It's also been fun being a stage manager, working with different kinds of directors.
Yeah,
everyone,
get to learn so much.
Everyone directs very differently, and so it's fun. It's fun to learn from other people and put it in practice. And
Well, let's talk more about the show. Let's talk a little bit about the concept, the message of the show. Has a lot kind of to unpack here.
Yes. So the general idea of the show is you have Marianne, who is a theoretical physicist, and you have Roland, who's a beekeeper. And and it's basically their love story throughout all these different multiverses. And if you come to the show, you'll learn what a multiverse is. But it's the concept that we wanted to do is there are different multiverses throughout the show, and we wanted to have one continuous multiverse and one continuous through line throughout the the show. And so we have kind of set that through and worked on that, and I just really wanted to bring this love story of the two of them. I in my head, they are together in all the multiverses somehow, some way. They're drawn together. They are supposed to be together, whether one's married or not, and it's just the concept of like, what if it just might be right person, wrong time, and that was what I went in with, and
I think too, and I love the concept of the string theory that she proposes in life. She's a very concrete thinker, and when you just imagine how string theory works, it goes completely with this concept. So
I mean, I'm excited too. I'm also working on the show as a lighting designer and getting to paint a little more, and I'm excited for us to be able to tell this like interesting story, because it's very, it's quick scene, blackout, new scene, blackout, new scene. It's really very fast moving in that, and how do we visually tell that story as well, I think is going to be really cool.
It's also very difficult. I mean, it's a very difficult show because
for the actors.
Julie in the first 5 minutes repeats the same sentence 5 times. I mean,
like that.
So it's a lot of repetitiveness, and I also wanted it to be very, I didn't want the multiverses to seem like you're watching the same scene over and over again. I have them moving a lot, so it looks like just different ways that these multiverses could happen.
And we're trying to, visually tell that with the stars, kind of moving with each as if, a slight different alignment in the stars makes their whole world shift.
Exactly.
Pretty cool. So with this show, what is our favorite part? I love this question.
Well, we were both talking about that earlier, and we both I really enjoy working with her as a director. I think she's got directing in your future. And working with Matt for the first time too, and working with someone of that caliber has been wonderful. It always challenges me to have somebody of such caliber. And
why don't we pause? I don't know if we've actually said it's Matt Edwardson.
Oh, yes.
I don't think we've actually said that. That is the third person that we've been talking about. He's playing Roland. And Matt Edwardson, he played King Arthur in Spamalot last year. He played Edward Bloom in Big Fish. He's been on our stage in a lot of different ways, but this will be his first non-musical role, right?
Yeah.
Oh, no, he was in Harvey.
Oh.
We're memorizing his bio over here.
He wasn't in Harvey.
Oh, no, he didn't. He just came in that one day. Guys, you can see how involved Matt is here. He's so great at last-minute calls too. He fills in and does the salesman. Yeah, he's done some fill-in things. But so this is his first play here, which will be really exciting. Sorry to interrupt, but I figured they might want to know.
And then we also talked about just one of our favorite parts is the process, especially a show like this, because there's so much discovery to along the way of these characters. And as I memorized my lines, I think first it was just rote to get them in my head because of all this repetitiveness. So it wasn't until later that I was like, a lot of light bulbs started going off. So the process, and a lot of help from Nichole as my director to make those light bulbs go off. So.
I mean, I obviously agree. I obviously agree with everything Julie said, and it's been for me, one of my favorite things is that for my first show directing, I get to have Julie and Matt, but I get to have Julie, who was like one of the first people I think I helped with a show on
Christmas Carol.
Yeah. I mean, it's nice. I learned how to stage manage from Julie. So this is such a nice, like, full circle moment.
That is really cool.
I love working with Matt too. I've worked with him in Wonderful before, and so he's just really fun. And it's fun seeing him in a different kind of character than he normally. I mean, not normally is, but it's fun seeing him in this kind of awkward beekeeper.
Yeah.
And
the nerdy
little beekeeper, and I love also just what we've gotten from the characters. Like, I think Marianne and Roland can go many different ways, especially Roland, because Roland has a lot of just possibilities, and I love where both of them are going and heading, and I think it's just it's fun to see. It's also fun to see your show. I guess I have a lot of favorite parts. I'm sorry. My other favorite part is to see it now, like, with your lights and a great soundtrack. It's fun to see something that you started with just a paper script, and it's now up and
that
running.
was just like a random thought in a directing class. Now totally
actually happening.
It's really cool.
And the multiverse, I love it. I love it all.
Well, we've kind of talked on it, but let's drive it home for the people. Why should people come see this show?
Okay. I got it. If you have ever had the idea of what if, what if I had said this, or what if this happened, or there's that one person you always think of, they were the right person but wrong time.
Yeah.
I think that this is such a great show for that. It makes you think. The idea of the multiverse is so fascinating. I think, if you love science, it's a great show. Marianne explains so much in it, which go Julie. And I'll say it's an incredibly hard show. Like, for you have to memorize all of this stuff that repeats constantly, and only small things change. I think that is just an incredible experience to see two actors do that.
And it's so perfect for that. I mean, it's just the exact type of show we want in our black box space, in that really small, intimate Fichter studio.
And it really looks like, I mean, I just love it. It just is such a wonderful show, and I think it's just a great love story to also come see.
I think it's very relatable from a psychological standpoint. As we go through adulthood and go through self-actualization, that question comes up multiple times in different ways. That what if my life had gone this way or that way? And also, as you get older, you start to experience loss and things like that, and so there's so much that comes into play in here that you can, that's very relatable, I think.
Well, I would like to ask, what if you come and see Constellations? See what I did?
How would that change your life?
The course of your life.
I think in a very positive way.
I agree. So, what if you come April 5th through the 14th here at HART? Tickets are on sale, hearttheater.org. We hope to see you there. See the wonderful Julie Kinter and Matt Edwardson, directed by our own lovely Nichole Sumpter. We can't wait to see you there, guys. Bye.
Bye.